Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel Talks with Me. I remain yours truly, Mrs. Daughter Otu, coming your way again with yet another interesting and exciting episode on this channel. Always a pleasure, always a delight to have you with me on every episode. Thank you so much for believing in this channel, for giving it attention, and for making the work easier for me, because when I get your feedbacks, like I've always said, it makes me know that I'm not wasting my time, because one thing I believe is that every word we speak is a seed, and seeds grow, you see, and sometimes you don't even know that the seed is growing, but it's growing until it brings out fruits. So I want to believe that every counsel, every good counsel, have a potential fruit in it, and by and by it will yield a great harvest. So thank you for giving heed to the words of encouragement, of comfort, of counsel that comes your way, on this channel, because I know that at the end of the day we are all going to be better off for it. And the ultimate goal of this channel is for us to edify one another, to strengthen one another, and to see that relationships succeed, and relationships are enjoyable and not endured, okay? Because oftentimes people just think that relationships are not worth it, because like every other thing, if it must work, you must find out on how to make it work. So what we are doing on this channel is just so that we get some tips here and there to make sure that our relationships blossom, and just so you know that relationships don't die, they are passed from generation to generation. So what kind of relationship would you want to pass on to your children? In fact, that should give you strength, as it were, to see to it that your relationship works, because you have to hand it over to your children. Whether you like it or not, it will be in your memory. They will remember how your relationships thrived, and then they'll be able to apply themselves to their own relationship, having in mind that they have seen one that worked, one that was worked out, because relationships are worked out, you see. They don't just happen. They don't. If you see anything lovely, somebody made it so, somebody worked on it. If you see a beautiful garden, someone so tended to it. So it's not like marriage made from heaven, relationship made from heaven. You have a part to play. Even when Jesus came from heaven, he went about doing good. He was doing something. Okay, so what we're about here is to see to it that everyone that is in relationship folds up their sleeves to see what they can do to make it work. So having said that, I know you are doing well. Listen to me, I believe what I believe. And whatever you believe comes to pass ultimately. I believe that your life can only be better, not worse. No. If you are alive, there's a reason why you are alive. The Bible says, to him that is joined to all the living, there is hope. If you are alive, there is a reason why you are alive. And if you are alive, it's because God saw something in you that he can still use. So please keep hope alive. Don't give up. Don't give in. Just know that things can only get better with you and not worse. Thank you so much. So on today's episode, I want us to discuss one of my passionate topics. In fact, all topics are passionate to me. Why not? Because life itself is beautiful. And this topic is simply the power of service in relationship. The power of service in relationship. Like every other thing that needs to work properly and last longer is serviced, isn't it? Yeah. Your generators are serviced, your cars are serviced, your electronics are serviced, even your clothes are serviced. That's why sometimes you get them amended. Your shoes are serviced. That's why sometimes you get them out to be polished. Everything around you that you want to enjoy and you want to last long in use, you need to service it. The fireplace is serviced. That's why the mother goes to the kitchen, she makes meals, because the fireplace is serviced. In the villages, while we're growing up, you see our mothers every morning, they go to the fireplace they sweep out the ashes of the previous day and they make ready for a fresh fire. And when the fire is burning, what do? They push in some more sticks, and good sticks, dry sticks. They push it into the fire so that the fire can burn. And when they want the fire to come down, to reduce, they pull out some of these sticks, some of these woods. What does that mean? You can fire up your relationship by service, and you can actually bring down your relationship when you withdraw service. Are you seeing it? You put the wood in so that the fire can burn more, and then you pull it out where you want the fire to go down. So servicing your relationship has to do with work. It has to do with action. You cannot service your relationship folding your hands. You cannot service your relationship wishing. You cannot service your relationship just talking. Now, expression of love with words is beautiful. Oh, everyone wants to hear, I love you, you are the best thing that has happened to me. I love you from the moon and back. Without you, I'm nothing. I need you in my life. All those beautiful words are beautiful, aren't they? They are. But when you back up those words with action, the person you're professing that love to will feel it more. Actions are felt more than words. Yes. When you see some people, they talk so good, everything makes sense, but the actions don't match up. So I want you to mash up your words with action by serving one another. Now listen to me. Anything that you value, you service, is the truth. And you don't service it out of compulsion, struggle. You don't struggle to service what you value. You don't struggle to service what you value. And you don't complain about your efforts in servicing what you value. So what it means is that if you are truly in love, service comes naturally. If you are truly in love with that person, if you are truly in love in that relationship, it can be between spouses, it can be between friends, it can be between siblings, it can be between brethren in church. As long as you love that person in that relationship with you, service comes naturally. And most of these services you render, it's not because it's your responsibility to render them. You render these services just to make the life of the other person easier. You render these services because you know that you doing that particular thing will make a lot of sense to that person. So because you love that person, you want the person's life to be easier. So you share the person's burden. So service simply means you trying to share the burden of the person in relationship with you with acts of kindness. The things that you do, not just say, but do. And some of these things you think they are little, they are not. They are things that you do that really touches the heart of the other person. And then how would you know how to service the person in relationship with you? Now that I'm talking about servicing. So it's important that we communicate our desires and our expectations, as it were, and our needs. You can pick up one or two things in discussion. It's true. When you are in discussion with the person in relationship with you, you can pick up some things. And a scripture came to my heart very strongly when I was thinking about this topic. The scripture that says that do unto others what you wish others to do unto you. Now, one thing you will discover about people that love service in relationship is that they serve themselves. The people that you are going to serve, if you notice them, they give you service themselves. So what am I saying? In every relationship you find yourself, don't just wait to be serviced. You too serve the other person. Don't just say, oh, I'm at the receiving end. You do it for me. For example, men will say, oh, it's the woman's responsibility to always make sure there's a meal. She has to cook. She has to go into the kitchen. Why should I be in the kitchen? What will I be doing in the kitchen? And it's her duty to do the dishes. Why should I do the dishes? But the truth be told, you can flip it around. In service, is left and the right hand washing themselves clean. So sometimes when you notice, for example, that the person in relationship with you is not up to it, the person has been doing it, serving you tea while you are still sleeping and waking you up, your breakfast is ready. And once in a while, the person is not up to it because sometimes the energies are not the same, you see. And so as soon as you notice that, you should be able to do it for that person, because that person has been doing it for you. That person has been teaching you how that person would want to be treated too. Although that person has been doing it over and again, but the person will also wish that something like this can be done for that person. So you see, you switch roles in relationships. Yes, you switch roles from time to time. Not under compulsion, no. Because love makes you to go the extra mile without counting costs. Anyone that you truly love, you don't count costs dealing with the person. Yeah, you want to see what you can do to make the life of the person in relationship with you easier. So sometimes you change roles. There is no fixed role in a relationship if that relationship is organic and is real, and if it must stand the test of time. It's not a relationship where you say, I will be the one that is always bringing the money. Sometimes the person that is always bringing the money might not have the money. What happens? The other person have to take over that role. That's why you don't count cost in relationship. You just service your relationship with everything that you have. I'm talking about acts of kindness that is shown in different ways, trying to service relationship. But beyond that, everything about you must be able to service that relationship. Your resources, your time, your commitment, your affection, your dedication. In fact, servicing your relationship and showing love translates into different things. It shows not just your love when you are servicing this person, when you are rendering service to the person in relationship with you. It shows your devotion. It does not just show that you love the person or you care for the person, because the first thing that the person feels is love and care, okay? When you start to carry out the acts of service to the person in relationship with you. But beyond that, it shows devotion, it shows dedication, it shows commitment, it shows affection, and it also shows value. Because who you value is who you serve. Have you seen people serve people that they value? They give proper attention to whatever. They give attention to details. Whatever it is they want to set before that person, they take care. When you love people, you are careful to serve the person. What are you trying to do? To make the person happy. So you must find out what makes that person happy. So you cannot just go about doing things. You have to really be sensitive to know what it is that you will do that will bring that sense of satisfaction and gratitude to the heart of the other person you are doing it with. You are doing it to. So it's very important. Don't frown at it. When you struggle and you murmur when you are offering this acts of kindness through service to the person in relationship with you, it's not going to be felt. It's not going to be valuable to that person, because everything about you serves, you see. Your expression, your words, your actions, everything that you do, your temperament, everything is part of the service. So don't just say, take tea and drink. I brought you tea. No, your tone. Your tone also is service. It's true. The way you even sound is service. If you are bringing the person a cup of tea, for example, there is a way you sound, and the person will just say, thank you. And there is a way you sound, thank you. You see the difference? The person have received more than the tea. The person have received more than the tea from you because of the way you presented the tea. So when you are carrying out acts of service, everything matters. Your tone, the way you behave, your facial expression, everything about you is part of the service. Don't just carry a particular thing for the person, frowning, grumbling, murmuring. Do it out of love, seamlessly. And the person will feel it and will appreciate it. All right? So what am I trying to say? Please, if you're in a relationship, make sure you serve that relationship. If you don't serve that relationship will not be serving the person in relationship with you. Serve the relationship physically, not just by words, by actions, by little kindness here and there. Sometimes you do dishes, not because it's your role. And you must not tell everybody that I do the dishes. It's a private thing. Your relationship is private. Your relationship is like your own garden. Tend it the way you want it. It's like your own palace. Decorate it the way you want it. You don't need to tell nobody how you do it. Let the person come and see the beauty in your home. Listen to me. Every relationship that is serviced, is seen, is felt by the outside world. Why? They will see the way your relationship is flourishing. Your relationship will flourish when you service it. Because when you are doing this act of service in your relationship, you are servicing the emotions, the affection of the person in relationship with you. And the person is always happy. Your atmosphere in the house is friendly. Your relationship is cordial. Your understanding is intact. Your communication flows very well. Why? Because you are servicing your relationship. Small acts of kindness. Giving attention to the person in relationship with you. Asking the person, have you taken your drug? Or if the person is on any medication at all, you bring the medication closer with a cup of water. Please, can you take your medication? If the person is in pain, you try to get like an ointment to try to massage the person. If the person is complaining about anything, can I take you to the hospital? Just be there for the person. Or the person is supposed to pick up the keys, for example. I know you are not up to it. I will do the school runs today. Okay, you are not up to it. I will go to the market to get some stuff for us today. I know you can't do shopping now. You just fill in the gap in that relationship. When you are servicing yourself in that relation, you fill in the gap for one another. There is no space. Okay? And I mean, any relationship like that, tell me why the relationship will not survive. Even hard times. Because you see, during hard times, those seeds of kindness, those acts of service and kindness that you have deposited in the heart of your partner is what keeps that person going. The person will remember and say, no, the person has been good to me. I will hold on. It's for your own good that you service your relationship. And don't listen to people. And don't seek people's counsel when you want to render service in your relationship. It's your business. Come on. Go ahead. Do what works for you. It's your life. It's your relationship. All right. So now, let's consider some benefits. Number one benefit is that it gives a sense of care and support when we service one another, when we render service to one another in our relationships. It gives that sense of care and that sense of support. The person in relationship with you feel cared for and supported. Another thing it does is that it alleviates burden. The burden that one person would have carried is shared. So the relationship is lighter and enjoyable. Listen to me. All you are trying to do by rendering service in that relationship is such that the life of the person in relationship with you is made easier, isn't it? So when you render service, you elevate the burden that the person would have carried on his own. And it brings about more attachment when we service one another in our relationship. When we render acts of service in our relationships, it brings us closer together. It brings us closer together, so it strengthens our attachment for one another. And it also brings a sense of satisfaction. You just feel satisfied being in that relationship because the relationship is servicing you. And now you that is receiving the service, you are also servicing the other person. So you are not always waiting to be serviced. You also serve the other person. So you see what I said? You interchange your roles from time to time, just so that everyone is happy. All right. It also gives us an opportunity to appreciate ourselves. When you render services to yourselves in your relationship, what do you say to yourself? Thank you. I appreciate you. So it gives us an avenue to appreciate one another. And when you appreciate yourself, you are growing in your relationship. It also makes for emotional intimacy. When we service ourselves, when we render acts of service to ourselves in that relationship we find ourselves, it brings us closer together emotionally. And it also helps us to be selfless. When you start doing acts of service in that relationship that you find yourself, it helps you to be selfless. So you develop yourself. You foster that attitude of selflessness. And it's beautiful. Okay? So please, I want you to also communicate your needs. Communicate your needs to one another so that sometimes express your frustrations. Yes, it will help. If you are dealing with a lot of things and your table is full, your plate is full, express yourself to the person in relationship with you. The person will hear you once and make sure that doesn't happen again the next time. So you have to express yourself. So please, it also helps for our health to be improved. When we are helpful to one another in the relationship, no one person is under too much burden. It helps our lives and our health to improve. It improves our mental health. When we are in a relationship where we are served and we're also serving the other person, it helps our mental health. So I want to encourage us. Please serve one another in that relationship. That relationship you have, you are the one that determines how long it lasts, the way you handle it. Yes. When you begin to be selfish in that relationship, when you begin to count costs, when you begin to keep records of, I did this that day, I did that day, you are killing that relationship. You don't keep records in any healthy relationship. You just go ahead, go with the flow. Do the right thing. Don't count how many times you have done the right thing. Is it the right thing? Do it. Will it make life easier for the person in relationship with me? Go ahead and do it. By the time you start doing that, you'll discover that your relationship is getting more healthier. There's more understanding. There's more affection. There's more cooperation. There's more dedication and commitment. Because at the end of the day, you are doing it for yourself, you see. Because you are going to live in that relationship. You are going to enjoy that relationship. The fruit of that relationship, you will enjoy it more than anybody else. So I think it's worth doing. So show hearts of kindness, hearts of service in your relationship. Not just I love you. I love you is good, but go further. Fold up your sleeves and get working. Do something for that person in relationship with you, so the person feel really loved, cared for, and supported. That's all I have for us on this episode, hoping that you and I will do better going forward. Thank you so very much. So please do like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel, and send in your comments. I want to know how you show your own hearts of service in your relationship, and I want to hear what it has done for you and for your relationship. Okay, so this is me just saying thank you so very much for being here. God bless you and God honor you. Bye. Thank you.